Hello there, welcome to JoyNews Prime with me, Razak Musbao, and tonight we are coming to you from our studios at Kokomimle, and we are live on DSTV channel 421 and GoTV channel 125, and across all our social media handles and around the world on myjoyonline.com. Coming up in this bulletin, GPRTU tax passengers to report to the police commercial drivers will refuse to comply with the newly announced 15% fare reduction. And also, President Mahama calls for reparatory justice to address centuries of exploitation as he demands apologies, debt relief, and return of stolen artifacts as Ghana joins the rest of Africa to celebrate Africa Union Day. Also, World Trade Organization boss charges African leaders to respond to the shifting global trade dynamics more as Ghana pledges to host the 2026 African Heritage Awards. We are a home of independent, fearless, and credible journalism. Please do stay for details. Welcome back. Now, the Ghana Private Road Transport Union, GPRTU, is urging passengers to report commercial drivers who refuse to implement their newly announced 15% fare reduction. The union says commuters should take note of vehicle registration numbers and report non-compliant drivers to the police for action. Although the fare cuts officially took effect on Saturday, May 24, 2025, some drivers continue to charge old rates, prompting the GPRTU to warn of disciplinary action against defiant members. Speaking earlier on JoyNews Room, Public Relations Officer of GPRTU, Abbas Ibrahim Moro, appealed to drivers to ease the financial burden on passengers.
They are not our members, or I would say members of any registered transport union. You see, those who made the laws for us always think ahead. In the statutory books of the LI 21, one of the punitive measures over there is to, especially those people. I read an article this morning on one of the social media that one driver even picked passengers halfway, he returned with those passengers to circle and force them to apply from this vehicle that is not going to take the new reduction fare. It's just unfortunate because these are the people whom the law says if you are not registered with any transport union or even you haven't registered as a transport operator, you are not supposed to operate. Here we have allowed these people freely outside the laws. And here they are. The law is there. We have advised anybody who refuses, anybody who refuses to reduce, meaning he's cheating the passengers that he has taken the old fares from them. So we advise any similar case should be reported to the police. We have police all over, we have the police stations, and every vehicle has a registered number as well. I strongly believe, effective from tomorrow, we don't see different things on the road. We are not aiming for that. We are not praying that the driver only showed that I'm going to look for my daily bread out of his negligence will be arrested and put behind bars. We have been given this privilege. This law has been given to us. Whenever things changes, we have to assemble and make sure we come out with what has changed and that we want to stand on that to increase law fares. It's the same law which gives us this leeway. After all, this is not the first time we are reducing oil fares. In later part in 2022, we came up with similar issue. And when that one was 15.3, we came down, reduction.
Now, President John Mahama says that for too long, the legacy of slavery, colonialism, and neocolonialism has cast a long shadow over the lives and progress of Africans and people of African descent. Speaking in a video message to commemorate African Union Day, President Mahama, who is also the AU champion for reparatory justice for Africans and people of African descent, called on African leaders civil society organizations, and the diaspora to come together to seek justice through a comprehensive range of measures, like apologies from nations responsible for perpetuating these historical injustices, addressing the crippling debt burden, a direct consequence of exploitation and unfair trade practices, and returning stolen artifacts and cultural treasures.
Fellow Africans, esteemed leaders, brothers and sisters of the African continent, it is with great honor that I address you today on the occasion of Africa Day 2025. As we gather in Addis Ababa and connect across our vast continent and beyond, we celebrate our resilience, our rich heritage, and our unwavering spirit. This year, our celebration is particularly significant. The African Union has declared 2025 as the year for justice for Africans and people of African descent through reparations. As the AU champion for this critical cause, I'm deeply committed to working with you all to achieve this vital objective. For too long, the legacy of slavery, colonialism, and neocolonialism has cast a long shadow on the lives and progress of Africans and people of African descent. These historical injustices have left deep scars. Reparations are not merely about financial compensation, they are about acknowledging the profound and enduring damage inflicted upon our people. They are about confronting the uncomfortable truths of our past and taking concrete steps to rectify these wrongs. We seek justice, justice that encompasses a comprehensive range of measures, including official and unequivocal apologies from the nations and institutions responsible for perpetrating these historical injustices, addressing the crippling debt burden that continues to stifle economic growth in many African nations, a direct consequence of exploitation and unfair trade practices, providing resources and expertise to empower African nations to achieve sustainable development and participate fully in the global economy, returning stolen artifacts and cultural treasures that rightfully belong to our heritage, investing in the educational initiatives to promote a deeper understanding of African history, culture, and contributions to the world. This is not a simple task. It requires courage, determination, and a unified front. It requires us to engage in meaningful dialogue with those responsible and to advocate tirelessly for our rights. I call upon my colleague African leaders, civil society organizations and youth groups, and members of the diaspora to join hands in this important endeavor. Let us work together to build a future where justice prevails, where the wounds of the past are healed, and where the potential of every African and person of African descent is fully realized. Let Africa Day 2025 be a turning point. Let us reaffirm our commitment to building a continent of prosperity, opportunity, and equality for all our people. Let the pursuit of reparations be a testament to our resilience, our determination, and our unwavering belief in a brighter future. Happy Africa Day. Let us move together, united in purpose, towards a just and equitable future for all Africans and people of African descent.
Well, meanwhile, the president has also expressed concern about the seeming breakdown of values and morals in society, saying it is contributing to the rise in indiscipline and violence in senior high schools across the country. Speaking during an interaction with the Ghana Catholic Bishops' Conference, he cited recent incidents of violence in schools as examples of this worrying trend. He also highlighted teacher absenteeism as a major challenge affecting discipline and quality education, and called for stronger collaboration between the government, religious bodies, and other stakeholders to address these issues.
The next issue I would discuss is to do with education. All of us realize that after many years of practicing the educational system we have, our education system has not been fit for purpose. The world has changed, and new skills are required of our young people. And so it's not just the curriculum, but the whole teaching and learning environment has to be looked at in order that our young people come out and are able to fit into the world of work. The days when the long grammar school education made you look very educated and respected in society have passed. And now you can speak English as well as you can, be as academic and intellectual as you can. The jobs that are being thrown out by business and industry are jobs that mostly are looking for people who have dexterity with their hands, master welders, master plumbers, master craftsmen, and so on and so forth. And so we have a lot of our young people coming out without any practical and technical skills. And so they come and they can't find jobs to do because business is not looking for, what they learned in school, the grammar school educational system. So how to reskill them and provide them with the technical skills to go into the world of work is something that we need to look at. And so one of the things we did was to set up the National Educational Review Committee, which has since started its consultations and done its rounds. And it will present its report I think, at the end of June. And if it does, we will make that public too, and we'll discuss it. I remember that before the Educational Review Committee started its work, the issue about management of schools, especially missionary schools, came up. And I had the opportunity at the opening conference, I think Reverend Fiano was there, to advocate and to advise that our faith-based organizations should present a position paper to the National Review Committee so that they can capture your recommendations in their final report. And whatever recommendations they give, we're willing to sit with you and implement those recommendations together. So I'm happy that in your presentation, you reiterated some of the issues that have to do with the management of our schools. I think it's important because I guess that the breakdown of our values and our morals is creating some issues in our schools. You find young people going to schools with guns. There have been a few incidents where, incidents with guns have occurred in our public schools. And there's the incident of a girl who's almost lost her eyesight because of something like that. And so what do we do about the curriculum? What do we do about moral education? What do we do about discipline? What do we do about teacher absenteeism? The Inspectorate Division of the Education Service is not able to be everywhere to make sure that teachers are in school and all that. So how can we collaborate with the churches, to be able to find out whether the teachers who have been posted to this school are actually going to school and teaching? And I think that collaboration between us in that could, bring down the issue of teacher absenteeism and also make sure that the teacher is doing the actual work that he was asked to do. So there's a lot that we can do together in the education space. And I think that after doing something the same way for so many years, the time has come for us to look at it all over again. And so we're happy to do that.
Now, the ranking member on Parliament's Environment, Science and Technology Committee, Ahmed Hamza, is calling for stronger private-public investments in nuclear research and energy innovation. He made the call during a committee visit to the Ghana Atomic Energy Commission, stressing the need for a national strategy to harness nuclear technology for Ghana's energy and development goals. We have more for you in the following report.
Ghana's nuclear ambitions face a critical setback as the nation grapples with a significant loss. Speaking during a visit to the Ghana Atomic Energy Commission here in Accra, the ranking member on Parliament's Select Committee on Environment, Science and Technology, Ahmed Hamza, is calling for stronger government backing for nuclear research and innovation. Mr. Hamza said the country risks falling behind if urgent investment aren't made to support local scientific capacity and energy alternatives.
Instead of thinking about investment in the science and technology, we want the area to pay for itself just like any other area. Meanwhile, globally, world over, it takes the commitment of the government to get the science and technology area well developed. And so these are the issues that we intend as a committee to try and push. We are hoping that together we can identify areas and aggressively tackle them.
From 95 in 2022 to 78 in 2023, Director General of the Commission attributes the exodus to low pay and poor working conditions, which he says continue to drive top talent abroad.
People are resigning, so people are leaving the Commission, and not even as guided as the nuclear industry, and some are even going to the universities and then traveling outside the country for maybe better remuneration and all that. And this is affecting our activities, especially since Ghana wants to go nuclear. So it means that we need these highly skilled people around for the nuclear agenda. And if you are losing them, that is not going to help us much. So it means that something has to be done pretty fast about it so that we can retain these people or these staff in the Commission. We always say that the best way to attract people is to retain what you have. So what the people that you've trained over the years with the skills that they have acquired over the years, if they are leaving your Commission, then it's worrying, and we have to do something about this.
The committee's visit forms part of its oversight responsibilities of assessing ongoing research projects at the Ghana Atomic Energy Commission and engaging with scientists on the challenges they face. For Joy News, Stephen Mensah's report, right to you.
Watching the Joy News room here with me, Razak Musbat. We'll take a quick break and we will be back with more. Please do stay. Hi, welcome back to JoyNews Prime. Now, a resident of Atsiame, a suburb of Atsiame, Petoi, in the Volta region, are now relieved of depending on safe water sources, which previously led to outbreaks of communicable diseases in the area. This follows the construction of 2 mechanized boreholes to supply the community with clean, potable water. The project was initiated and fully financed by philanthropist and native of the community, engineer Joshua Stanley Kaviano.
Residents of Atsiame and the Atsiame district heavily relied on untreated water from Toje, which streams through the community. They support this with rainwater during the wet seasons. The residents lamented that, though they are aware of the consequences of drinking the unwholesome water, they have no option.
Toje, akima dengi toko evo toji achi over examine via obe dolele emenemi sabe kimi aza toji anua evanye fofone mitane sija kafe mite ponchi ya vile anu.
Those with some money to spare spend it on importing potable water from Petue.
Temia dochiro da tepo bubo edo ho wa kwachi chova avana mi le duome ne chile jaja amoro wo pe zora peme okpona chijaja stone vide zana nkeke bredo kwa egavo kene chijaja meloa enyina fukpepe na dua dumevi ona chikwenye kuke gade nami.
Nonetheless, the residents can now breathe a sigh of relief following a generous intervention by a native and philanthropist. Engineer Joshua Stanley Kaviano financed the construction of 2 mechanized boreholes and handed them over to the community. He said the initiative was aimed at alleviating the suffering residents go through in accessing potable water.
Just to alleviate and probably to also help the community, because aside the mainstream, there is no other water. And it's the main reason why we decided to come in and help, to at least solve it for a while. in terms of maintenance, in terms of whatever it takes for it to run. They've gone deep as of 200 meters. So it's water that would last a very long time. We are hoping that all other things being equal, it would hold the fort.
The Assembly member for Kwetwe South Electoral Area, Eric Soku, was elated with the project, describing it as life-changing.
Just want to say that this borehole project that has been given to us is something that has come to solve our water problems in our communities. And I'm using this medium to extend my request to all other community people that can help us in solving the water crisis in our community to come on.
Fred Kwame Asari, JoyNews, Atsiame.
Now, as global trade tensions escalate among the world's economic giants, African leaders converge in Marrakesh, Morocco, over the recent chart to a bold path forward, resolving to turn crisis into opportunities. The occasion, which is the third Afri Heritage Awards and Concert, was a blended gathering of celebration with a strong call to action for the continent's future. In a passionate remark, Ghana has reaffirmed its commitment to Pan-African ideals, self-determination, unity, progress, sustainable development, and strategic youth empowerment program. Take a listen to the tourism minister at the event.
Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, esteemed organizers of the African Heritage Concert and Awards, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the President of the Republic of Ghana, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, I bring you warm greetings from the beautiful and resilient people of Ghana. Tonight is more than just a celebration. It is a phenomenal, powerful moment of recognition, a moment when we honor indubitable spirit of African resilience. This recognition is not only personal, but also deeply symbolic. It reflects our collective acknowledgement of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama's unwavering belief in democratic governance, regional integration, and cultural renaissance across Africa. He has long championed the cause of African self-determination and youth empowerment. He has carried the torch of hope for millions of Africans, especially the young generation. I am also pleased to reaffirm, on behalf of the people of Ghana, the government, and himself, our acceptance of the honor to host the 2026 edition of the African Heritage Concert and Awards in our capital, Accra. We embrace this opportunity with great enthusiasm and a deep sense of responsibility. Ghana is ready to welcome the continent and the diaspora in 2026.
Well, that's all we have for you tonight on JoyNews Prime. With me, Razak was back. We have more stories on myjoyonline.com, and we'll be back tomorrow. Please do have a lovely evening.